Happy April, everybody, and welcome back to Off the Shelves. It's going to be a little bit smaller of an episode, but I wanted to make sure I got it out week 1 of April since a lot of us are spending time at home. I want to do as much content as I can for you guys. If this is the first time that you're viewing this video series, this is basically my Blu-ray haul, Blu-ray collection video where I show you guys all of the Blu-rays and sometimes DVDs that I've bought over the past month, give my short little review on them and tell you whether you should skip it, buy it, or just check it out online by streaming it. So, like I said, I got about 7 or 8 titles this month, so gonna go in a random order, starting off with Mr. Robot Season 4. Now, I am still 2 seasons behind on the show. I've only seen through the first couple seasons, and I haven't had a chance to really get back onto it, but I absolutely loved Season 1. Really liked Season 2, I didn't like it as much, but I've heard nothing but good things about where the show went from there, so I had to make sure I got this into my collection, and I plan on finishing this series at some point. So please don't spoil anything, but let me know down below if you've seen all the way through the end of Mr. Robot. Does it end great, or is it one of those shows where you're like, oh, you can watch Season 1 and then just kind of bail? Let me know. Videodrome. So if you guys follow me on Facebook or anything like that, not too long ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I actually watched Scanners for the first time. I was sitting at home, I was like, you know what, let me just throw on one of these classic horror films that I'd never seen before. And I really enjoyed Scanners, so I wanted to pick up a couple more David Cronenberg films that I haven't seen. You know, he's one of the horror greats that I don't have as much experience as I probably should. So Videodrome was next on the list. Have not watched it yet, but definitely wanted to check it out. Let me know down below if it's worth checking out. Another film. There's a lot of these that I have not seen, by the way. Another film that I had to pick up just because, I don't know, I'm a slasher whore, so I want to add it to my collection regardless, but the Slumber Party Massacre. Again, have not seen this. I have no opinion on it, but nice little steel book. Wanted to make sure I got it before it went out of print. I love picking up these like Scream Factory releases where you have a limited time to get them. I love fleshing out my collection with things that aren't going to be there forever. So I wanted to check this out. I haven't really heard too much about this film. I don't know if this is one of those kind of cult classics, if it's something that people celebrate, or if it's kind of just a relic of the cheesy 80s slashers, but I'll get to it eventually. Now we have From Beyond. Stuart Gordon passed away. He's the director of this, as well as Reanimator, which I'm actually a big fan of. I need to watch the other ones. I introduced myself to Reanimator last year and had planned on reviewing it during October, but got way too busy. So eventually I will get to that series, but I wanted to go ahead and pick this one up for the same reasons. It's probably not going to be in print forever, and because he had just passed away, it kind of popped up on Amazon and like the top 30 or 40 Blu-rays. I usually cycle through them, and just wanted to make sure I added this to my collection before I can't. So let me know down below if From Beyond is as good as Reanimator. April Fool's Day. If you guys saw, I actually released a review for this film. I hope everybody had fun with that one because I kind of tricked everybody. Sorry, Saw fans. But nonetheless, this was one that I had heard about before. Without knowing too much about the film, I could kind of look at the title and get an idea of what this movie was going to spin on the slasher genre, and I actually had a good time with this one. Like I said in my review, I'm not really, as much as I love slashers and as much as I love 80s horror films, a lot of these kind of cult classic ones that I go back and visit for the first time now, they don't really hold up for me, and people end up getting mad at me because I say like My Bloody Valentine wasn't all that great. But this one I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed the kind of twist on the genre it had. I actually enjoyed the characters, which is what put it far above some of those movies for me, because most of the time those characters are just insufferable. But you got Amy Steele, you got Biff Tanner in here. I actually enjoyed this one. I liked the ending. I had a good time with it. I would say go out and buy this one. It was actually pretty cool. 1917. I did not get a chance to review this, but I did actually catch this in theaters. I had a free day after work, and I wanted to go check this out to make sure I had that cinematic experience because everybody was talking this thing up. And it was definitely a very good war film. I've said before in these, I'm not really a huge war film guy. There's a lot of the classics that I still have not seen. I have ones that I do love, like Hacksaw Ridge and The Patriot, but this is one that doesn't quite reach those heights for me as far as rewatchability, but I really enjoyed and appreciated the filmmaking of this, which I think is what the kind of the hallmark of this movie is the whole aesthetic of making it feel like one shot, like you're making an entire 2-hour film just following one character second by second without any time jumps, even though there is one in this film that they kind of stylize around. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was directed extremely well. The cinematography deserved its Oscar, so I would say go out and buy this if you're a war fan especially. Uncut Gems, another one that I did not have a chance to review. I actually saw this last year during the holiday season while I was at home. Everybody was losing their minds about this movie. I don't know what was more talked about in this, the performance of Adam Sandler or the Oscar snub of Adam Sandler, but nonetheless, it's a story about Adam Sandler playing a gambling addict. It's told by the Safdie brothers who did Good Time. If you've seen that, kind of that frantic style of filmmaking, it's right here in this one. The whole movie, I've heard people call it like Anxiety the movie, and that's kind of what it is. It's basically you following this character, making a lot of horrible decisions over and over and over again, and you're literally just tense the entire time because you're waiting for the shoe to drop, because you know it's coming. And so, I really enjoyed it. It's a movie that, when I first saw it, I didn't really get the hype that everybody was putting behind it, but it stuck with me. You know, it's a movie that, after I watched it for about 2-3 weeks, I kept thinking about it. So I wanted to make sure I picked it up. I haven't given it a rewatch yet, but Adam Sandler's definitely very good. I've always said that this dude's a phenomenal actor that's just waiting for performances like this. If you've seen, what the hell, Reign Over Me, I blanked for a second. Reign Over Me, I think, is his best performance. As much as people like to praise this one, go watch Reign Over Me and tell me that was not Oscar deserving. But nonetheless, go out and buy this one, check it out, I enjoyed it. And the last title, which is going to make me sound like a hypocrite because this wasn't my most disappointing films of last year, Jumanji: The Next Level. I bought this one mostly for my kids because they really enjoyed it. They enjoyed the first one. And I didn't hate this movie. I mean, I had a decent enough time with it, but as far as my review for it, I really liked Welcome to the Jungle. I love the original Jumanji with Robin Williams, one of my favorite films of all time. I liked what they did with that. They kind of felt like they respected that movie while doing something new and fresh with it. I enjoyed the cast. And you get into this one, and a lot of that is still here, but they swap out, to me, the best part of the movie, which is the kid characters being jumped into these specific characters, where you have the nerdy kid gets pushed into the rock, and now he's the biggest, baddest mofo in Jumanji. You get the biggest, baddest mofo in the high school who gets put into Kevin Hart, who is now this big and has all the weaknesses in the game. So the real vain girl gets thrown into Jack Black, the overweight middle-aged guy, and the geeky girl gets to play as the badass chick. That's gone in this because all the characters get swapped up again. And so all of those aesthetics are now different characters getting to play these, and then two of them is Danny DeVito and Danny Glover that get put into The Rock and Kevin Hart, and it's a funny shtick for about 10 minutes for me, where you have old men who are now in these big, like, young, youthful bodies, big on The Rock anyway, but you have that joke that's spread across an hour and 15 minutes of this movie, and to me, it loses its humor very quickly, and the rest of the movie is just kind of beating a dead horse. Spoiler alert, by the end of the film, they swap back into the characters and the avatars that they had in the first film, and the movie recaptures that magic for me. So I enjoyed it enough, but I would definitely say to stream this one. Well, that's it, guys. Like I said, short little video, not a huge collection this month. There wasn't a whole lot to buy, and I'm also, because of everything going on, not trying to spend too much money on needless things that are not, what's the word they're using, essential? But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please tell me about these titles down below that I have not seen. Keep them spoiler-free, especially with Mr. Robot. Please don't fuck that up for me. But let me know down below your thoughts on these titles, guys. Please like and share this video as always, and hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And remember, as always, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.